What's up, everybody? Merry 2020. Welcome to the attic. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your viewership, and I appreciate everybody who's subscribed and supported me so far. I say every episode, it means the world to me, but I'll continue to let you know until you're sick of it. I hope everybody had a good holidays. I'm really feeling really enthusiastic about this new year. The holidays are always a really cool time. Before I get to my guest, I wanted to take a minute in the beginning of this episode just to say something real quick. I took a couple months off from this podcast. It's been a roller coaster of emotions about it. I started this podcast about 5 episodes ago, roughly around 4 months ago, I think. And my original intention was to make this, a place where I could talk to local artists, find out, how they got into the business, and hopefully inspire other people to, even if you're not doing this professionally, if you have a talent and you have a drive, to keep at it. But, I've had a whole bunch of insecurities about, just having myself talking on a podcast, having the world know who I am, not that the entire world may listen, but you put yourself out there, it makes you feel vulnerable. This whole thing about doing podcasts is all about, honesty, vulnerability, and, just hearing people talk, have a genuine conversation, because everybody's so sick of the mainstream scripted nonsense that it kind of fuels us all. So, it's really hard to kind of put myself out there in a way like that to where I didn't really feel confident about it. But I've had a few select friends that have really pushed me and motivated me to get back into this. And, if I don't do it, it won't come. So I'm back at it. I'm going to be changing up the format a little bit. This is no longer going to be exclusively just a music podcast. I want to bring anybody in that I think is interesting and I have questions for that I think you might find interesting as well. So I'm bringing a lot of that to here. I have a lot of cool friends and a lot of new people I've met over the past couple months that I plan on having in here, and we're going to be doing some cool stuff. So please stay tuned. I appreciate your continued support, and I promise to make this thing better every single episode as the best I can. Thank you so much. Welcome to the podcast. Brown cow. I had to count in there. Welcome, everyone, to the newest episode of Jammin in the Attic. My name is Andre. The days are here. We're back, baby, and I'm getting a call. How unprofessional. Damn. Welcome back, to the podcast.
Welcome, one and all.
My name is Andre, as you know, and after a way too long break, I'm back. I kind of preface this episode with a little explanation of, why I've been gone, but I'm really sorry about it. We're back, and I have here my first guest of the revamp of the podcast, even though it was only 5 episodes long to begin with.
Well, I was the first guest of your first one. Like, round 1, I was your first guest.
That's true.
Round 2, I'm the first guest.
That's true. Round 2, Matt Talbot, everybody. What's
round
up?
2, fight.
That's what it is, man. Dude. That's true. I did a ton of trial runs of this podcast before I even figured out how to release it and do everything with it. And there are so many in the vault that have yet to be released.
The vault.
In the vault.
All the incriminating evidence being kept locked away.
Dude, it's so strange to record yourself having a conversation and then to just publish it. You get so particular about what you say and why you say it and what you're saying.
And it makes you think about what you say before you say it way more.
Yeah, and it's not natural. But that's the whole point of a podcast. People want to just hear a regular conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not one to really contemplate much on what I say before I say it.
Well, you're perfect for this.
Yeah, so I tend to kind of free flow. I mean, it's not like diarrhea of the mouth or anything like that.
It could be. That's what it is for me.
Yeah, I don't want that. That's how you say stuff you don't want to say.
That's true. How much of your regular life do you feel like you're force-fed bullshit? Like you're watching something on TV or you're just consuming some sort of entertainment and you're like, just isn't genuine.
Honestly, man, like That's kind of hard to say because like like lately I really don't watch a lot of TV or anything like that. I don't listen to the radio.
That's true.
I don't watch TV.
You're just a Fire Stick guy, huh?
No, but lately I haven't even been watching shows like when Kaylee's not home.
Shout out.
Shout out to Kaylee, my wife. Been with her for 15 years. She's a saint for putting up with me for that long.
Holla.
But when she's not home, like lately I don't really watch shows that much. I usually just like listen to music and like I recently downloaded a game on my phone, so I've been playing that. But, you know, I've been playing my PlayStation again too, so like to show how much television we watch, there was a plane crash probably like
I remember that.
5 or 6 miles down the highway from our house, and we had no idea it happened.
Was it that far away? Like, not that far?
Yeah, I mean, it was like probably like 6 miles down Vero School Road. But Mr. Gary, Kaylee's mom's boyfriend, called Kaylee, and he was like, "Hey, what's going on with that plane crash? Y'all hear about that?" And I'm like, "Plane crash?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's on Vero School Road." I'm like, "What the hell? Like, that's down the street. Like, what the fuck?" And dude, like,
there was a plane crash in Lafayette like under a month ago.
yeah, I'm like, all but one person died. I think
Yeah.
like 5 people died.
That's crazy to be the one that didn't die.
Mm-hmm. I think it was either 1 or 2 survivors. I know like probably 3 or 4 people died, and it was like a 6-passenger plane. You know, it was small. It was a small private plane.
And one of the people was one of the coaches or the athletic directors of LSU, their daughter, and they were going to the game in Georgia.
Yeah.
And do the whole game, they kept putting the camera on that guy. Like, because he just showed up and he kept wanting to do his job. He didn't want to just miss the game,
Right.
even though his daughter just died in a plane crash.
But his daughter-in-law.
Oh, that's what it was?
That's what it was. His daughter-in-law. His son is, I think his son's a journalist, a sports journalist, and she's a sports journalist.
Mm.
And the father-in-law is the athletic director for LSU or whatever, coordinator or whatever.
I guess
But-
when it's the in-laws, you can show
Well,
up
dude,
to the
like
game.
they showed. Did you watch the game, Monday?
Yeah, I watched like the second half.
dude? Like they showed him after, the win and everything, and they were just like crying. It was like, damn, that's huge.
Yeah, man. Not to put it on a depressing note.
No, but man, just
But that's crazy that, you could go through something like that and still go to work or still...
oh, I know, right? I mean, dude, I still am struggling to get over losing Juju.
Yeah, man.
Juju was my cat.
Shout out to Juju.
Yeah, shout out, baby.
Matt rescued her during Katrina, right?
Mm-hmm.
The coolest cat,
Yep.
literally.
Rescued her out of a dumpster in the Applebee's parking lot.
And that was a particular cat. For people that don't know, it was a cute as can be cat, like a real bright orange, fluffy, beautiful, but no one was allowed to touch her except for Matt.
Yeah.
Matt was the cat whisperer,
The Juju whisperer.
the Juju whisperer.
But what was funny is she was solid orange, and that's really rare for a female orange cat. Usually males are solid orange, females are orange and white.
Yeah.
And that's why her whole life people used to, when people would meet her for the first time, they'd be like, "Oh, he's so pretty." I'm like, "It's a she." And they're like, "It's a she?
That's true.
She's solid orange." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
I never knew that, but you do typically see that. Like, it's like a cat named, I know a lot of orange cats named Stark. People like to name their cat Stark. Yeah, I think it's because of the Avengers and stuff.
Okay.
Or maybe I just have a lot of Avenger friends. I don't know. But any orange cat I've met, and then there's one named Ricky. Basically, they're all Ricky's a lowrider. He was born with like these nubby legs, like all of them.
What?
Like they're all half the size of a regular cat.
What?
So whenever he comes through a room, it's like that meme. Oh Lord, he coming! Like he's just riding low to the
Well,
ground.
I've seen like a video on a cat that has that same condition, and it's like normal looking cat, but just all four legs
really
are
tiny
half
legs.
the size, and
he just
running like that.
It's like that Scooby-Doo animated sound, like as they run from room to room.
Oh man, that's funny.
Earlier we were telling some really funny stories, as we do, and I had one that I was gonna tell you, but I was saving it for this moment right here.
Go for it.
So he was mentioning at a job Matt worked at, I think Lowe's. He had a buddy that like got arrested at work, and it was a crazy scene. In the 8th grade, I saw something I've never seen ever again in my life. Just like how, like the way this scenario played out, and it's really short story. I was in 8th grade. I think it was an English class. I just remember I didn't really like this class. And there was this dude. That's an unnecessary detail. And there was this dude who was like always getting in trouble. Like he was just one of those guys that was way too old to be in our class. Like he failed too many times. Like
just a troublemaker.
He was like 16 in the 8th grade. You know.
Oh God.
So
did he drive a dirt bike to school?
I don't know how he got there, but he just one day we're in class, we're like either taking a test or we're reading something, like something to where the entire class is silent and the teacher is like just at the desk. Everyone's looking down. You can quietly hear the door open, and not everybody, I remember noticing this, not everybody noticed the door open, and it was the school cop and one of the principals, and they just came in and they looked at this dude, and he looked at him, and the guy went like just motioned his finger like, come on. Yeah. And like no words were said. Not one was said. Guy gets up, turns around, just puts his hands behind his back. Cop walks up to him, cuffs him, and then just slowly walks him out. And then the principal grabbed his book bag and stuff and closed the door, and they just left. And then it was almost to the point where the teacher was like had her hands up.
Like the teacher had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, like what? And not everyone in the class even knew. Like when they left,
did you just arrest one of my students?
Yeah, when they left, someone was like, "Did that dude just get arrested?" And everyone just put their heads up, and they're like, "What?" Looking around, and it's just mass confusion. And I was like, I have never in my life thought that someone could get arrested that casually and quickly. Like we got shit to do. We getting arrested or what? Like he's like hands behind back, out the door.
Oh, dude!
In the 8th grade,
I saw people get arrested in junior high and high school.
Yeah, well, it was mostly for fights or drugs, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the two things that could happen.
And like, dude, I saw like on I'm not gonna say several, probably like 2 or 3 occasions there were like racial riots in junior high and high school. Like I remember in junior high, everybody went out for, like, lunch bell rang, everybody made it out to the yard for lunch, and it's normal, everybody's going about their business, and then all of a sudden everybody notices that out in the yard all the guys are lined up 2 lines, and it's all the white dudes and all the black dudes, and they're just standing across from one another, just staring each other down. We're like, oh my God. like we just grabbed our shit and we were just ready to run. Like we were just waiting for somebody to throw a punch. We're like, as soon as it happens, we're out of here. And we have legitimate reason to ditch school because it's like, this is threatening. And dude, I don't know what sparked it, but somebody fucking threw a punch, and it was
a riot between like races.
Yeah, like black dudes and white dudes.
Wow,
just duking it out, fucking fighting and shit.
I work for a vending machine company right now. One of the dudes at Talbot High, they have these cages in front of the vending machines, so like because they're outside, so people can't just like bust the glass. And a fight like that broke out, and it was this swarm with the fight in the middle. And like it was moving around the yard, just the people trying to watch the fight and people actually fighting. And he said he had to get behind that cage like a shield.
Oh shit!
Just like, be gone, 18-year-olds, be gone.
That's crazy. Yeah, man. Like I remember when we were at Houma Junior High, like because there's Houma Junior High, and then right next door is Terrebonne. And when we were in junior high, Jeff's brother Ryan was at at Terrebonne, and they had a riot at Terrebonne. I think he came and like picked us up or something. Like somehow or another, the junior high side found out about it, and like we were like meeting in the middle, so he was gonna pick us up because like I think somebody got stabbed in the stairwell and shit. Like it was like they had people all over the football field. It was crazy,
Bro. I mean, it's just crazy how
people be crazy, man.
How often did public school do you feel like a jail, like, or like a prison? Like, not to say it's that extreme to just like go to class and be stuck someplace, but you're around this mass group of kids. A lot of them are like troubled kids. A lot of them are, just squares, and a lot of them are a little somewhere in the middle, probably like us. We weren't goody two-shoe kids, but we weren't bad kids either.
Right.
So, just having that mass group of people all collected together without a purpose, everyone just has to go to this place called school. It's bound to happen where you have like things like huge fights happen, or you just have like ugly stuff go down.
Yeah.
Just because you're in just a mixed group. And the reason I would compare it to like jail or prison, it sounds extreme. It's definitely a lot better than jail or prison. But you have to be forced to be in an environment with people you don't necessarily want to be around, or maybe even dangerous
uniforms,
people.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, the uniform policy didn't get enforced on me until my senior year in high school.
I bet you a lot of people don't even know like that school, like public schools do that.
Right. Well,
uniforms
dude,
like
yeah,
that.
Because it's not like a nationwide thing.
Yeah.
It's totally like a local thing, because like there's kids in Texas that go to school with normal clothes on.
Yeah.
But when I was in junior high, dude, I used to wear like ripped up jeans, fucking Pearl Jam t-shirts and shit.
What's your take on that uniforms?
I think it's fucking stupid.
Me too.
I think it's stupid as fuck.
Well, the argument I hear everyone say is that it prevents people from picking on kids because of their like.
They're gonna find something to pick on them about.
Yeah, I mean that's the point. It's high school. It doesn't. And
it just diverts them from picking on them about their clothes, so they're gonna pick on them about their teeth or their hair or their feet.
If you don't have enough money for good clothes, you don't have enough money for nice uniforms. So I mean, you'll just get made fun of for that,
right?
Or something else about you,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like people who are bullies, they're gonna fucking find something to bully you about. You know what I'm saying? Whether, the way you look, your weight, your teeth, ears, shoot, whatever, man. They gonna find something. It's bullshit.
But that's some people's, I think, only experience of like, quote unquote, the real world.
True.
Dealing with things like that. That shapes you. Either makes you or breaks you, I think.
No, yeah. I mean, definitely doesn't justify it, but it definitely toughens your skin. Like, to some degree, stuff like that is necessary, Like, you need to know how... Like, I tell Kaylee all the time, like, I think everybody should know how to fight. Like, just at least basic defense skills, you know what I'm saying? Because you never know what can happen, and you should always be able to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? Well, and it's not difficult,
You're a black belt, and I mean,
I am.
You became that how many years ago?
I've been training for 10 years, and
so since about 2010.
Well, I mean, I've been training for 10 years, but I've been a black belt for maybe 3 or 4 years.
How would you say your confidence and your overall just, like, I don't know, maybe social anxiety have been affected, like, between not knowing karate and then being in the level of it you are now?
Confidence, 100%. Like, I have 100%, like, way more confidence in myself, in my awareness, in my ability to diffuse a situation, in my ability to defend myself or my family or my friends if I need to. Social anxiety, I mean, I still have the same anxiety as I always did. It's just something I deal with. But, like, martial arts is fucking awesome.
But you've noticed a shift in
for
life.
Sure. For sure. Like, it's the fact that I know how to fight is awesome, but the most important takeaway is all the stuff that I've applied to my life from the knowledge that I've learned from training. You know, like it's changed my life. You know, martial arts isn't just a hobby; like it's a way of life. And you know, I tell everybody like you being able to defend yourself and fight, that's cool, but that's a bonus. Like,
right. It's not about being a tough guy.
The real reward is all the knowledge that you gain that you can apply to your work, to your relationships, to your friendships, to your everyday life. And you can see it change because you're being a better person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I think I'm, of course, listening to Joe Rogan all the time, and I've been motivated to get into some sort of martial art myself. I used to when I was a kid. But, like, the way Joe Rogan describes it, he goes, it's better to be out in life, and if a situation were to happen, you know you have options, rather than being somebody who panics in the sight of danger because you're not trained, you don't know. I mean, because you could just be the nicest guy in the world, and you're going to have some asshole out there somewhere. You're going to be on vacation somewhere where a lot of people are together. Maybe there's alcohol involved.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody wants to prove how tough they are, and you could always be the target of that. You know, and you don't even have to incite anything. You don't even have to provoke anything.
Sure.
You know, that stuff's
a lot
possible
of assholes
to go down.
out there.
Yeah, dude. I wonder the ratio, how many assholes to good people there are.
Assholes to not assholes.
Because there's a lot.
There are a lot of assholes. But yeah, like martial arts, it teaches you to fight, but more so it teaches you how to react.
Right.
You know, and that's what self-defense is about, is reaction.
I feel like
proper reaction.
The good martial arts teach you how to get away from trouble.
I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily get away from trouble. Like, if you're somebody that's not comfortable with confrontation, sure, there's techniques that, you know, you can diffuse someone and run away. You know, you can do something that gives you time to run away. But personally, I think if you're in a true situation where, you know, you're having to call upon fighting, your life is in danger or your safety is in danger, you're not going to be able to run away that easy. You're going to have to know how to stand there and go toe to toe at some point.
Yeah, well,
to some degree.
I mean, in regards to like distancing yourself or like creating room or creating space, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Like teaches you like be aware of your surroundings and know if something's going down. Like, you know, the way to quickly defend yourself and diffuse it. You know, rather than prolong a whole fight. You know.
Sure. Before I started training, like when I would go into a bar or any type of public place, you know, I would just walk in there casually and just be narrow-minded, narrow-sighted, I should say, like just seeing what I see. And now when I go somewhere, I'm canvassing the room. I'm being aware of everything around me. You know, when I'm walking around, I'm just constantly making sure, you know, I'm aware of everything around me. And, you know, sometimes people are like, man, that sounds kind of paranoid. And it's like, no.
That's how you should be in life, for sure.
I mean, I'm on guard, you know. That's what our style is about. Our style is 100% self-defense.
Yeah.
So the best way to defend yourself is to be aware of everything around you.
There's a difference between like just recognizing your surroundings and being paranoid of your surroundings. Those are two different things for sure. Yeah, but I try to do that all the time, and like with the job I have to. Mm-hmm. You know, especially because a lot of places I go to, there's like all this crazy machinery and stuff going on around me. So
and you carry money, huh?
Yeah.
So
I got a safe. Sometimes that freaks me out because like in our trucks, we have a safe where, like, we have these bags. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I work for a vending machine company. So I'll go to a vending machine, collect the money from the vending machines, work them, do everything. And then when I get back to my truck, I drop them in the safe. And when I open it, it's closed. Like, you can't stick a hand in there or
Right,
anything.
right.
And so sometimes I wonder, like, if I got robbed, because like the keys stay at the office. So like whenever I go,
Then you
back
can't
home,
open it.
Yeah, like so if I got stuck up, I can be like, the safe's back there. I don't have the keys. Here's all the keys I have. Try them all if you want. I don't have
Yeah.
it.
Good luck opening that
Yep.
motherfucker.
Yep. And sometimes I'm like, damn, that's enough for me to get shot, because they're gonna think, man, you got the key. I'm like, check me. Take my keys.
Right. Take everything. You can try everything to try to open that. That's all I have.
But I'm like Superman, I can't be touched. So won't happen.
Yeah.
How you been, man, overall?
I've been all right, man. Just trying to recover from the holidays.
Oh yeah.
Freaking nonstop, but it's starting to get busy again, Mardi Gras and all that.
That's true, man. I can't wait for the Mardi
Mardi
Gras.
Gras!
Mardi Gras! I can't wait for the inevitable podcast that is to come from Mardi Gras.
Oh, boy.
You gonna be coming around?
Yeah, I mean, depending on Kaylee's travel situation, what she's doing around Mardi Gras, I'd like to come out here for the Hercules parade.
Oh, dude.
Come out here for that weekend.
Man, please come out for that weekend, Hercules Parade. The next week, you're welcome as well. I'm going to have so many people here, though. You're welcome to be a part of it, but if we can get some, quality time and, have one of those nights like we had forever ago. I think we should retell that story. First of all, me and Matt have been contemplating a podcast forever, and one of my embarrassing moments of trying to, I don't know what you say, speedball this podcast and my attic production podcast. I mean my attic production projects. I put out an advertisement for our podcast, and we never did anything. We never did. I mean, we got the podcast in the vault, but like we said, we can't release all of it.
Yeah, there's useful material. So maybe if there was a way you can take pieces from best of everything and kind of splice it together.
Yeah,
because there's usable content in all of those conversations, but each conversation as a whole, it's like, I don't know about that.
What are we gonna do about this, Matt? What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do about what?
Our podcast.
We're gonna have to record some stuff, man. And look, I was talking to you over the weekend. Starting next week, I'm probably gonna be spending 3 days in New Orleans.
Right.
So, I can stay over here 3 nights a week, and when we're both off of work, we could just be chilling here and recording stuff.
Yeah, we'll make some episodes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's how it's going to work. I forgot we had that. I mean, I didn't forget, but I wasn't thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
But we did have that conversation. Matt's going to be around here a bit, so we're going to put out Chillin'.
Yeah, man.
Our idea was kind of a storytelling podcast, but, it's kind of like Matt's talk show. We're going to have guests on. We're going to have...
Yeah, and since I'm going to be staying here for a couple of nights, I can try to get Jeff on here.
That'd be cool.
Because I think a weeknight could probably be a little easier for him. Because it's like if he's off, he can just come over here, hang out for a bit, and then go home.
Yeah.
So
idea for our first guest.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited, man. We definitely need to. And this time, folks, when you see me advertise it, that means it's coming
for real.
Out. It's coming
It's for real.
I learned a lot of lessons with trying to start this. When you
I mean, you learn as you go, dude.
Well, you ever go into something that you're so sure of with this mindset of this is the way it has to go, like
right.
ABC.
You want it done a certain way,
right?
So you feel like you have to follow it.
I saw so many people's podcasts in LA and stuff, and it's all routine, and they all have just, I don't know, these quirks about them or this structure to it. So I tried to apply that over here, and what I found was, everything felt forced.
Well,
I was doing things to put it out instead of doing it to create it.
And you have to understand, it's not like they just created that structure and started doing it.
That's true.
They built that structure over trial and error, just like you're doing. And just like they have a structure and quirks and a way they do about things, you're going to build that at some point, and then it's going to be fluid.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's how it works, I mean, that's what we're doing for work. I work for a new distillery, and, we went into this not knowing much to do on how to get a new brand of alcohol out in the market and succeed. So it's been a lot of times it's been trial and error. Like, let's see how this works, and let's see how this event works. And, you know, you look at it as, you know, reward to input. And if it's not enough, then okay, well, we don't do this again.
Right.
You know, not to waste your time and your efforts on that, and you can focus on something else that's going to yield a better reward.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just looking at it, I'm like, okay, that wasn't as productive as I thought. Right. So I'm going to let things come naturally with a commitment to consistently release it. And I mean, that's what I promise everybody listening to this. You know, I'm not going to have a set day every week that I release this, but I'm going to have one at least a week, and I'm going to keep it consistent, and I'm going to try to just have people on to be interesting. Yeah. I also formatted it as a music podcast, but there's only so many people in this community that I can really get into about that. And I have so many people, I have so many times where I'm just having a regular conversation with somebody, and I'm just so stimulated and interested, and like, I'm like, these are the kind of conversations I crave, and I'm like, I want to do this on my podcast, because this right here, you know, we don't have our phones out. There's not regular distractions, right. Going to the door, running to the kitchen, you know, doing all this stuff. We can actually sit down with each other and have a long conversation about something interesting. And right. I feel like people want that. And I want to put out content, and I want to, you know, display that along with everything else I'm doing. I'm so excited about the music I'm putting out. I'm so excited to let everybody know we're working on some animations.
Oh, yeah.
We have a script written. Matt's going to try out some voices.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
I've had this life. I have this small amount of specific life goals that I've always wanted to achieve, and it's just like specific to me. Some may find them weird or whatever, you know, but it's just something that I've always thought about. And one of them is like, a dream job would be to be like the voice of a cartoon character, like Hank Azaria, how he does like 90% of the voices on The Simpsons, you know. So like, that's crazy, dude. I mean, he could just sit in there and just record whole seasons of the show because he does all the voices.
That's kind of like what I'm gonna end up doing until I have people like you and other people come and join in. Every time I ask somebody to kind of be a part of something, it's either a or a absolute yes.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like until I get this up and running and people are like, oh, an animation, you know, a cartoon, like you, okay, like how good can this possibly be?
I mean, I'm down to participate whenever, because I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fun.
It's goofing around.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote this, and I just had a blast writing it, you know? So even if I have to voice it, it's a, well, I'm not going to give too much away, but basically it's a guy and a girl, and so I'm going to be like...
Office situation.
Yeah, so I'm going to be like, that's going to be the cartoons until...
Man. You gave so much away on that, dude.
I know.
I think everybody out there knows exactly what you're going to be putting out now.
Fucking ruined it, man.
Yep, you totally ruined the fucking surprise, man.
We're going to have to cut it out. Shit.
Oh, man, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like, you know, if all it is conversation, then cool. All it is conversation. But like, if the person you're talking to, you know, has some kind of talent or something about them, whether it be music or, you know, telling jokes or whatever, you know, you could incorporate into the conversation. And then, you know, if you feel like inspired on the fly or something like that, you know, you can do something on the fly.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I liked about the episode we tried to record, and like Paul fell asleep and all that shit.
Oh my God.
Like cooking the biscuits and all that, dude. That was fucking dope.
The
man.
unreleased podcast.
Right.
I still have it. I don't know if we can release that. It's just a big drunk mess, basically.
Right. And there's a bunch of dead space.
Oh yeah, me and you want to tell it, Matt, how we came about doing that?
Yeah. So I've always had this idea of some kind of like talk show, and it would be the Untitled Action Bronson show is basically the idea I've had. Like, it's a show where you're just hanging out, drinking good drinks, cooking food, just having people play music and, have like a house band or something like that. And he's got the, oh shoot, I can't remember their names offhand, but, it's just a chill show. And that was the idea I had for this podcast, where I was going to have a guest, and we were just going to hang out, and I was going to cook something. And, we were just going to play some music, because me and this guy used to play music back in the day. So I was like, cool, we agreed on a song we were going to play and everything. And so it's happening, and he gets wasted. Paul gets wasted and passes out. And I'm like,
this is the one we tried.
Yeah, and this motherfucker wakes up and he's like, "Oh, come on, let's play that song." I'm like, "Ain't no way you playing a goddamn song right now, man. You can't even stand up." It's the worst
song ever recorded.
Yeah, you can't even stand up. And then like the next morning he woke up, he's like, "Man, I'm bummed I missed out on the sausage biscuits." I'm like, "Motherfucker, you had 2 of them."
Yeah, you didn't remember. I did too. Those were
fucking
good.
Scarfed them down. Like, you and Andre each had 2.
Matt. So we're doing this podcast, and the condenser mics are just picking up everything, and we're all drunk, and we had a friend with us along with Paul and Matt's wife Kaylee, my cousin, and everyone's just kind of talking, and we were watching these old home movies that Matt and the guys made back in the day, and they were awesome.
Yeah, dude. That was a blast.
Yeah, it was a fun time, but as far as like content, we were all over the place.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would be one thing if we would have a video feed.
Yeah.
For that would have been super entertaining. But as far as just an audio podcast, like,
yeah,
it was a lot of garbage.
I think a drunk podcast would be fun. But,
sure.
It just has to be.
It was too busy. It was too much going on.
Yeah, I have one in the vault called The Guys Do Wine Night. And me and my friends, we were here, and like it was some sort of occasion where we didn't have much money between us, but we had like 2 boxes of wine from like some party that had already come about.
Like box wine, like Franzia?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
God.
Just a shit ton of horrible wine.
Ugh.
And so we started drinking it. I have the fridge up here, so we didn't have to go downstairs or anything. So I started setting up the mics, and I'm like, yo, let's do a podcast, because I was trying to like record a lot just to get the test running. And dude, that was pretty fun.
And the wine was flowing.
Yeah, we were roasting each other, and one of the reasons I can't air it is because my beloved friend Cameron, who is one of my best friends, refuses to be on the air. I think we should start a hashtag, put Cameron on the podcast.
Right.
And,
hashtag stop being dumb, Cameron.
It was hilarious, but he doesn't want to be on the air.
Oh, goodness. Man, I can't drink wine like that because I fucking pass out. Like, wine puts me to sleep, man.
Wine puts me in a weird place.
Oh, man, I get so, like, loose and tired. Like, I drink too much wine, I'm like, out.
Dude, that's the thing. It's kind of like, it's not alcohol of itself. It's an ancient alcohol. People drank wine back in the medieval days. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I think you get a little medieval whenever you drink it.
Well, now, understand, today, wine, like, that wasn't no Pinot Noir that they were making in medieval time. That was some
shit. That
was fucking barley wine.
You know that musky
muscadine.
That musky red wine, that like the kind of wine that's so red you can't really, I don't know, I can't really drink it. It's so dry.
Oh, like Shiraz, Merlots.
Yeah, but like times 10, that's what I imagine people had back then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of it was barley wine, which is technically beer, but it's a wine because of how it's well, I think the final outcome or something like that. Want to hear something crazy?
What?
Everything, no matter if you're making beer, spirits, whatever, everything starts as beer. Like, our product that we make, it starts as beer. Like really gross beer, but it starts as beer. And then what makes it different from what breweries do and what we do, after that beer is made, then breweries go in a different direction and make it into a finer product, whereas we go in a direction where we distill that beer and it becomes a spirit.
It's interesting, the process of making things like that.
Wait till we're giving tours, man. It's super cool.
Do you think you could apply what you know about your distillery and like distill something at home if you wanted to?
Oh fuck no, I'm not involved with the production.
Oh really?
I mean, like I did, like before we were on the market, you know, I was like bottling, barreling, you know, cleaning bottles, cleaning barrels, you know, proofing, all that shit. But as far as like the process and the fermenting and the distillation, nah, I don't know a thing about that.
I looked up something about medieval drinks. In the Middle Ages,
In
the Middle Ages, however, concerns over purity, medical recommendations, and low prestige of water made it less flavored. Alcoholic beverages were always preferred. They were seen as more nutritious and beneficial to digestion than water, with the invaluable bonus of being less prone to putrefaction. Due to the alcohol content. God, I can't read.
Yeah.
One more paragraph. Wine was consumed on a daily basis in most of France and all over the Western Mediterranean, wherever grapes were cultivated. Blah, 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 blah. The drinks commoners in northern parts of the continent, primarily beer or ale. So basically, it was beer or wine, and you had no choice but to drink alcohol because it was the only thing you knew that was clean or sterile.
So, beer came from when the Puritans were coming. Well, I don't even think it was specifically the Puritans. It's just when people traveled by boat across the oceans to different lands, they would have their water in barrels, and they would be on that ship for so long that water would start to ferment and develop bacteria in it, and it would turn into beer. And that's where beer comes from.
But you didn't need, I mean, that could make alcohol, but you don't need like wheat added to it and stuff to make it actually like beer.
But because I think somehow like the yeast was cultivated and activated with it. Like they may have had something else in there with the water, but I'm pretty sure like alcohol comes from, you know, water rotting on ships and them being like, hey, we can drink this and it'd be fun.
I don't know how. I mean, I guess a lot of people didn't survive back then.
Well, dude, you got to imagine, like, back then, like, drinking nasty booze is the least of your worries. Like,
that's true.
You know what I'm saying? There was so much other crazy shit to worry about. Like, people were like, oh, fuck yeah, I could drink that.
Commoners probably didn't have locks on their doors. The floors were mud. Basically at any time somebody could like rape and pillage your village or town.
Free for all.
Yeah, just a group of tough guys could come in, and if they were strong enough, they could beat you up and take your stuff and leave.
Yeah, take everything you have. And I mean, what you think life was like on a ship out in the middle of the sea? You know what I'm saying? Like living on a boat, like a pirate or something.
Yeah.
Dude, I watched some cool YouTube videos recently on like pirate life and like what life was like on a ship, like on the ocean, and like what were certain things that were required for a pirate life and stuff like that. It's fucking interesting, dude. Super fucking interesting. Like, you know what the significance of pirate earrings? Like, do you know like pirates having earrings is actually it serves a purpose. It's not just having
I used to
earrings.
know that, but what is that purpose?
So when they would have earrings, they were able to like weave like earplugs into their earrings to hold earplugs in their ears, so that when they were shooting cannons, their ears wouldn't ring, so they were able to hear better than their opponents because they were wearing earplugs, and the earplugs were held in their ears by their earrings.
Damn, sorry, I was drinking water. Damn.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know that. I knew there was some sort of like meaning to it.
And you want to hear something else cool? I thought this was super cool.
What?
The legendary pirate Blackbeard, like he was the most feared pirate of all time, of like American history, or
so the story
whatever.
says.
Right, like the history is that Blackbeard was the most feared pirate of them all, and to intimidate to intimidate anybody, not necessarily his enemies, just to intimidate anyone around him, he would weave hemp into his beard and light it on fire, and that way, especially in battle when he would be fighting his enemies, his beard would be like glowing and smoking, and people would like freak out and disorientate him.
You gotta be a tough son of a bitch.
So basically, he would light his beard on fire.
Dude.
Yeah, bruh.
He was Steve-O before Steve-O, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, that like I'm a sucker for list of videos on YouTube. Like that's kind of my thing. I watch a lot.
Top most.
Yeah, like top 10, top most, and stuff like that.
I get into that too, yeah.
And I'll go down a wormhole for a minute, and I saw this video. It was like top 10 scariest pirates of all time or something like that. It was cool, dude. It was cool because, man, they did some crazy fucking shit, bro. Like, just fucking, like, check this out. So I saw this other video. It was the top most cruel ways of punishment on a pirate ship. And there's this method of punishment called keel hauling. You ever heard of that?
No.
So keel hauling is where they strip you naked, they string you up like by your feet, hang you from the mast, and then tie a rope around your arms like this, so you're hanging upside down like this by the mast, and the end that's tied to your hands passes under the boat and comes out the top. It comes out of the other side of the boat and is connected to the mast on the other ends. It's like a pulley system, yeah?
Yeah.
And they string you up and they fucking pull the rope and you fucking go underwater and your naked body is passed under the boat, along the keel of the boat, where there's barnacles everywhere.
Which I imagine back then that's a pretty large ship, so that's a long
you're
time underwater.
Oh, they said like if you don't drown from the time that it takes to pass you under the boat, like you're just ripped to shreds by razor sharp barnacles. And if you make it to the other end and you're still alive, they'll pass you under multiple times.
Oh, they're trying to kill you.
Well, not necessarily, because the video also said like if for some reason you survive a few passes, you would end up just dying because you have such terrible infections from all the wounds from the barnacles that you would just die from sepsis.
Dude, oh yeah.
But when they were describing that, I was like, that is fucking brutal.
Well, good times. Well, good times.
Fucking keel hauling, dog.
I can't imagine,
like,
dude.
That sounds fucking brutal.
And today we're upset about a line too long or not having immediate access to the internet.
You ever watched that show Vikings?
No, but I've heard of that, yeah.
What, you ever heard of a blood eagle?
No.
So listen to this. So a Viking form of, like, when they would take over a town or whatever.
You know so much shit, man.
Well, dude, it's from watching fucking YouTube videos, dog. Like, so when a Viking clan would, overtake a settlement, they would, take over and they would dethrone the king, and a way they would, like, execute the king, they would put him on a stage in front of all his people, and he would be on his knees with his arms out like that on these like stands, and one of the other Vikings would get behind him and cut like from the bottom of his neck all the way down, like the middle of his back, just cut it, and then peel the skin back and open his back up to where his ribs were exposed.
Ooh.
Then they would take an axe and hack the ribs and separate them at the spine all the way down.
While dude's alive?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude's fucking alive. Ooh. Fucking hacking with an axe, breaking the ribs at the spine all the way down on both sides, and then taking those ribs.
Ooh, that's hard to hear.
Dude, it's fucking gnarly. Taking those ribs and fucking breaking them to where they're pointing out, and then taking the lungs out of the person's... Taking the lungs out and draping them over the ribs so that... And it's called a blood eagle because it simulates wings coming out of their back. Right?
That's just horrific.
Dude. And look, on that show Vikings, they have 2 episodes where one of the Vikings performs that. And I mean, it's not, it's graphic, but it's as graphic for television.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's
obviously not real.
Well, and I mean, there's some television networks like A&E, FX. I mean, dude, they get very, very liberal with the violence and with the graphicness. Dude, like American Horror Story, bruh. I don't know if you watched that, but like their most recent season, it was fucking violent and gory and sex and fucks everywhere. Like, dude, I was like, man, I cannot believe this is cable television.
That show transformed for sure. I wasn't sure if it was.
Well, every season's always been different. Like that's always been a thing.
Well, I was a huge fan. I'm not dissing the show or anything. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I was a huge fan of the first 3 seasons. I thought Murder House was amazing.
That was always my favorite one.
Yeah. Well, mine was Asylum. I loved Asylum.
That one was good too.
And then I also liked Coven. A lot of people diss Coven.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I
just
thought,
wasn't my thing. I'm not dissing it. Just wasn't my thing.
It just became a different show, I think. But I mean, every season is different. It's hard to say that, but I liked it. What was the main lady's name? What Lang?
Oh,
something Lang.
Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange.
Yeah,
I love
the bitch.
her in that. Yeah.
I love her, man.
And then the 4th season, I didn't really get to watch because that's when I moved to Nashville and I didn't have cable, and this was before everything had a streaming service.
The 4th season was the circus one.
Yeah.
Freak show.
I missed that one.
Or Carnival.
And then I saw a few episodes from friends.
It was good.
I
liked it.
The few episodes I saw were good, but I heard people talk shitty about it. I mean, I guess you can't listen.
It was one of those seasons where like it was kind of 50-50. You either liked it or you didn't.
Right.
Because it was just like a traveling freak show, and there was like all kind of like drama and shit within the community and all that.
And the 5th one was about a hotel, huh?
Yeah, that one was good, dude.
Yeah,
that was the first one with Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
That one was really good.
Who she played?
She plays like the main character, pretty much, like one of the main characters.
Oh, really?
She plays.
Is it like a human, like alive, or like a?
I mean, if you want to watch it, I don't want to spoil it for you, because, like,
is it on Netflix? I might watch it.
American Horror. I don't know if that's on Netflix. It might be on Hulu. But the most recent season was fucking dope, dude. Like.
Hulu.
If you could watch the most recent season, it was super good.
You can watch it on Hulu.
Hulu. It's called 1984, I think. American Horror Story 1984, and it's like Friday the 13th campy horror. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes place on a fucking like summer campground, and it's like fucking
I like that, yeah.
A slasher running around. Dude, it's fucking dope. It was so good. And Ryan Murphy does so well with like taking his fictional story and like weaving in like real people, like real criminals or real people from real life and weaving them into their story. And it's like Richard Ramirez is a character in the most recent season, and it's like it's crazy because you're watching, it's like, wow, that totally fucking like made sense and meshed together, and it's like Richard Ramirez in a American Horror Story season. That's crazy. It was good, man.
I like that. I guess you call it franchise. I like them though.
Oh, dude, Ryan Murphy's a fucking genius, man. He's super creative because he does so much more than American Horror Story.
What's the best horror, either a show or a film or both that you've seen? Can you tell?
Of all time?
Of all time.
Oof.
I mean, maybe not of all time because it's hard to think
well,
about all the movies, but the one that comes to mind.
Something comes to mind really quick because we just finished watching it is it's a Stephen King thriller series on Hulu called Castle Rock. Dude, that show is fucking awesome.
It's like something new he wrote?
I mean, the second season just came out. Like, it's I think it's
like newer?
I think it's a book. I'm pretty sure Castle Rock is a book that they made a series adaptation from it. And each season is different, but involve, like, there's characters that overlap and there's a connection made, but there's completely different stories in each season. You know what I'm saying? It follows a different character. But it takes place on Castle. It all takes place in Castle Rock, and some of the things involved in each season intertwine with one another. So it connects the two seasons. Dude, it's an excellent show.
Nice.
The first season was fucking dope. The second season was fucking incredible. Like, second season was definitely my favorite of the two. It was good, dude.
And what's it called?
Castle Rock.
Castle Rock. I'm gonna have to check that out, man. What about a movie?
Let's see. I mean, dude, it's so funny. Like, all we watch is horror movies. So you would think I'd be able to just spit them off one after another.
It's hard though when you watch a lot. I think back to the old ones. I love new scary movies because they've got the technology now to where they can really, like, psychologically, like, hook you into a movie.
Right.
But
you got the visual part.
There's something about those old horror movies when you put them in the context of the time and, like, just watching it, like The First Exorcist. Like, it doesn't hold up to today's standards of horror movies, but if you go back and watch it and you, just check it out and, like, look at it through the mindset of someone in the 70s seeing a horror movie for the first time.
Well, that's why movies like that back then, like, they were fucking attacked and, like, banned and shit.
Yeah. The devil had taken over the movie theater.
Because it's like, you think about that now and it's like, that's ridiculous, you know? But back then, that was fucking brand new to people. They're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, you know, directors fucking visualizing demon possession like that on a big screen. People didn't know how to fucking handle that.
It's like, your mother's in the room. Would you like to give her a message? Like, just straight up new stuff about the guy. That's creepy. And it's like, whoa. And then the first scene of that movie.
Demi, why you do this to me?
Why you do this to me?
Why you do this to me, Demi?
The first scene of that movie is them singing along and playing the piano, and they're having a whole, like, dinner party in the living room. And then she comes down in her nightgown and she looks at the dude. I think he was like an astronaut or something. And she's like, you're going to die up there. Or something, and she just pisses herself.
That's not the first scene of the movie.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, whenever they first come in.
No, but the first scene of the movie is in the desert when they find the artifact.
You know what I'm conflating The Exorcist with?
What?
Scary Movie 2.
Well,
that's the first scene of Scary Movie 2.
Right. That scene is taken from The Exorcist.
Right.
You know, that happens in The Exorcist.
It's a spoof because, like, she just pisses for way too long in Scary Movie 2.
Yeah, it's like a gallon of fucking pee.
Yeah, it's like flooding the living room.
Right. Oh, man, that's funny.
Dude. Scary Movie 1 and 2 are the best spoof movies, and I don't think they did them like they...
I enjoyed the second one was good. I enjoyed the first one, and it, again, like, the timing was perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, in fact, the funny thing about the first Scary Movie, the first time I saw that was on a burnt CD on
Me too.
On Timmy's computer. We all sat in his extra bedroom at his parents' house and all huddled around the computer and watched it on a 17-inch monitor.
Bro.
And we felt like it was so cool because it was in the theater. But we were watching it at home.
That's in the heyday of LimeWire and all those file sharing programs. You know, I watched something recently, and you know that's the reason why we have so much free content today. Because they fought so hard and sued those websites and apps so hard. It was before apps. Right. Those websites so hard, but they could only drain so much out of them that they could realistically get. And they had shared billions of dollars worth of content out to the world, And so after that happened, it's like, oh, well, those websites are shut down, but all this content is still out there floating in the ether. Like they even showed like they tried to arrest a ton of people for copyright infringement, and that's when you saw all those anti-pirating things on movies all the time. And so there's just so much out there. The industry morphed into creating profit around free content. Like, hey, here's all this free content, but this is what it costs to stream it, or this is what it costs for merchandise if you're a fan.
Right.
And so the industry, like movies and well, maybe not movies because you have to pay to see movies, but like music and everything. That's why they morphed into Spotify, where you pay a monthly rate and you have access to all the music in the world.
Yep.
So it all came from that time of Napster and LimeWire. And
for sure, that's where it all stemmed from.
Who didn't take advantage of that at that time, you missed out,
dude.
I
have a 500 gig hard drive that I can't access the information on it. Like, I think if I bring it to like Best Buy or something, they could probably get the data off of it, and it's pretty much 500 gigs worth of music. From like since I was in high school. Dude, it's a ton of shit.
We live in this day of iPhones right now, and we're only progressing more into the future. I will never forget the day. I had my parents' DSL connection, which means I tied up the I tied up the phone lines to do whatever I was doing. I had like 2 hours a day on the computer or whatever. I'd plug in the telephone cable to my computer, and I was trying to download Inglourious Bastards forever. I did it for like 2 days because I'd have 2 hours at a time to download the movie, and it was so many megabytes or gigabytes that it took forever on a DSL connection. So I waited 2 days, and you know how those files were always mislabeled and shit? I had a bootleg German version where this guy in a German movie theater has a camera on his knee.
It was a camera.
And he was taking a video of the movie.
You see people walking in front of the screen and shit.
Yeah, but the thing was, even in Germany, they had English subtitles. I don't know why, but I could read the subtitles, and I watched this dude's bootleg copy of Inglourious Bastards before it came out in the movie theaters in the U.S. So
man.
I was stoked about that, but I was really bummed out it was in German.
I remember DSL, man. Like, at the time, like, it was like, whoa, that's the best shit you can get. And then, man, not long after, like, cable and fiber came out and shit. But you tell me that story reminded me of when I got my Fire Stick, my first Fire Stick, and I had Cody on it. I watched this movie called Guardians. Not Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians. Oh, God.
This is what the sound you heard when you were logging on to DSL.
No, that's dial-up. That ain't DSL.
Dial-up. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh, you talking about dial? Oh, yeah, dude. That's snail space right there.
Dude, that sound every single time. Every single time. That's it connecting to your phone lines and going into the ether of the internet world.
Oh, yeah, man. I remember when that was your only option. Like, I remember when the internet came out and dial-up was the only thing you had. And it was slow as fuck, but since it was the only thing, you were like, you didn't have nothing to compare it to. But this movie, Guardians, dude, you should totally check it out. It's fucking dope. Like, it's been around for a while now, so it's pretty easy to find on, like, streaming services and shit.
Yeah.
But it's a Russian superhero movie. And it's like a superhero team like the Avengers, but they're like very different, like not like American superheroes. Like one of the dudes straight up turns into a fucking big ass grizzly bear or like a Kodiak bear or something like this. Like he just straight up turns into a bear. And then this other guy, he has like these scythe-like blades. They're on handles, but like the blades are completely round like that. So it's like these round swords, and he has like teleport ability like Nightcrawler to where he can like and appear, like disappear and reappear in places. So he's like super fast. dude, it's a super cool show. It's a really cool movie. But I think there's an English dubbed version, and then there's a version in Russian. You can read the English subtitles, but either of them are fucking tight.
Man. We should watch something soon, man. Something good.
Yeah, man.
You seen The Joker yet?
Yeah, I want to see it again, though.
I haven't seen it.
It's good. It's really good.
I saw a clip, and it seems like a brand new take of The Joker.
Oh, it is. It's a completely different take on the whole story.
If you had to rank these three actors from best to worst, and when I say worst, I mean least best.
Right.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Johnny Depp, Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix, John Depp, Leonardo DiCaprio.
You put Leonardo last?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Man, just not that he's a bad actor, but
Yeah.
John Depp and Joaquin Phoenix are better than him, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was thinking about...
Because look, man, there's some Leo DiCaprio movies that I fucking love, like The Beach. You ever saw that?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I've never even heard of that. The Beach?
What?
Is that like,
Dude.
Is that when he was young and he was with this girl and this dude? Or am I thinking of a different movie?
Well, it's probably from like the 90s, I think. Either late 90s, early 2000s. So he's fairly young, and he like goes to like Thailand or something like that, and he meets these strangers, and they go partying, and they end up finding this map to like this secret secluded island, and they go out there and they find out that like, you know, it's a very secluded like secret place, and the only way you can get there is if you're kind of invited. And since they went there uninvited, they can't, like, they were like, you can't leave, like, we don't want people knowing about this place. So, you know, we only go to the mainland when we need supplies, but like we've built our own community out here. Dude, it's a fucking dope movie.
Dude, it's
really good.
Was it Shutter Island he was in?
Yeah, he was in that. He was like a detective.
Wasn't that a crazy... You remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
The crazy twist at the end?
Yeah, wasn't it like it was him all along or some shit like that?
Yeah, he was trying to investigate this huge thing, like... And turns out at the end of the movie, he's a patient in Shutter Island with multiple personality. Like,
right,
disorder.
like pretty much the whole movie was in his head.
Exactly, like the whole thing was him investigating himself.
Right, all in his head.
That was, I think, an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I heard a thing about M.
Was
Night.
it?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
What was Shyamalan's most recent movie we saw that was fucking awesome? God damn it. What was his most recent movie?
These are all his movies.
Let's see.
We can go in, well, not in order. Unbreakable, Glass, Split, The Sixth Sense.
Split was really good. The
Signs,
Village was good.
The Visit.
The Happening, that was good. You ever saw that?
I wasn't a fan.
I liked it.
The Last Airbender was horrible.
Yeah,
that was come on, M. Night.
Yeah.
Come on.
Lady in the Water was dope.
Oh, I didn't know he made Stuart Little. How cute.
Devil was fucking tight. That's a good movie, man.
Man. Look at that stud M. Night.
I want to say we maybe watched a series recently that he did.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, because none of those were what I was thinking. I can't think of the name of it offhand, but I want to say we saw something recently from M. Night Shyamalan. Glass was good, though. Did you see that?
I see dead people. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Did you see Glass?
No. Wait. I feel like I had... Oh, no, that's new. I haven't seen that.
So the story is, like, you know how... Did you see Unbreakable? With Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson?
No, I can tell you what I've seen. I've seen The Sixth Sense. I've seen The Visit. I've seen The Happening, The Last Airbender, Lady in the Water, Stuart Little, and that's it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many.
I've always been a fan of his movies.
I even missed Split, and I really want to see that.
Split, Unbreakable, and Glass is like an unofficial trilogy. So the first one was Unbreakable in 2000, and Bruce Willis is like this normal guy, and throughout his life, he's been in situations where, he was like in a massive train wreck, and like a train got derailed and shit. It was this huge accident. Everybody on the train died except for him. And as a kid, he was in these situations where, like, he was on a school bus and it would crash, and he would like lift the school bus off of the kids so that they can get to safety or something like that. Like all these unexplained like feats of strength and like just supernatural ability. And so he's just always been like this super strong guy, but he's completely normal looking. I mean, he's Bruce Willis. And, he just leads a normal life. Well, unbeknownst to him, there's this other guy, and his entire life, he has literally broken every bone in his body countless amounts of times. These horrible accidents, these freak accidents to where he just falls downstairs, breaks his legs, his arms, he just breaks everything. And everybody calls him Mr. Glass. And it's Sam Jackson. He's in like a wheelchair. And he ends up being like this villainous character to where he's trying to like do something bad because he's mad at the world for the cards he's been dealt. And, he's trying to get Bruce Willis to work with him because he's like, you're everything that I'm not, and you're my counterpart. Like we're meant to be together because you're strong, but, I have all this like super intelligent, because that was his thing. Like, even though he was in a wheelchair and broken, he was super smart. And like he could like manipulate people, and he was just like really smart.
The mind and brawn.
Right. So then Split came second and didn't involve those two characters hardly at all, if any. But James McAvoy plays this fucking crazy dude with split personalities. And split personalities to the point where like he can like change himself physically to be somebody else. Like, and the characters are like a little boy, an old lady, like this strict, like middle-aged, like nun, like strict German woman or something, like just very diverse characters. And then one of them is the Beast, and all the personalities that he has, they're all afraid of the Beast. And none of them want the Beast to come out. So like he kidnaps these girls, and like like the whole movie he's interacting with them as different personalities, and they're like, what the fuck is the matter with you? Because he'll like go in there as the guy that kidnapped him. He's just this real like ex-military, just not right in the head, just normal guy, whatever. And he locks him. He's like, look, just stay in here, be good, and you'll be fine. Just stay quiet. And he closes the door and locks it. And a little while later, you hear him come back to the door, and he opens the door, and he's like, he's acting like a 6-year-old kid. He's like, hey, what's going on? He's like, sorry he did that to you, but he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. You just got to get to know him. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, you put me in here. Like, you kidnapped me. And the whole movie, he's interacting with these girls as different personalities. It's really cool.
Wow.
Oh, dude, it's super cool. And then Glass is the one where all three of them converge in the same plane. Like, they've all been involved in the same universe. Because, like, you know how, like superhero, like Marvel movies, at the end of each movie, they'll have, like, a little hidden Easter egg at the end when you watch the whole credits.
Right.
They had those on all three of these. So, like, on Unbreakable, there was kind of like a little Easter egg about something. You didn't know what. Because, I mean, look at the year difference. 2000, 2016, 2019. Yeah. 16 years went from first movie to second movie.
This whole collection here is 20 years worth of movies. However, it doesn't look like much happened between 2000 and 2008.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of went on a hiatus for a while. But
he had a couple. Yeah.
Devil is really good too, man. That you definitely should watch that. That's fucking awesome.
Which one?
Devil.
Oh, yeah?
It's a good scary movie, man. It's really good.
I'm in the mood for a new scary movie.
We've seen Devil so many times. The Village too. Have you seen The Village?
No, I've heard about that. I heard it was pretty good.
Oh man, that is. Click on it. See how long it is.
What do you think is the worst M. Night Shyamalan movie? An hour and 49 minutes.
Oof, almost 2 hours.
Yeah. Could have watched.
Yeah,
it.
I don't want to stay that late because I would totally watch it because it's really good. What was the worst one? I mean, I never saw The Last Airbender, but I know it's terrible, so I'm not gonna waste my time.
Yeah, it was pretty
But
bad.
I've seen She's All That. That's crazy. He did that. I haven't seen Praying with Anger or Wide Awake.
Who is that guy? What is he from?
It's Freddie Prinze Jr. It's like a fucking cheesy chick flick from the 90s.
Yeah, but what?
He was in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh yeah, he plays like a douche.
Yeah, he plays like the high school quarterback and dude, look, that's fucking Paul Walker.
Where? Oh, that's Paul Walker?
Yeah, dude, that's Paul Walker.
Man, he really changed.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna have some more chilling to do. But
No, for sure.
As far as the podcast, we're over an hour.
But to answer your question, After Earth was pretty fucking bad.
After Earth,
Yeah, that was a pretty bad movie.
I'll give it a watch.
It's Will Smith and Jaden Smith, so it's him and his son, like playing father and son in the movie.
One night we should have a bad movie night. We pick our
man.
favorite bad movie. And
Oh,
just
dude,
hang out.
I'm about that, man. I'm about that because, like I said, me and Kate, all we do is watch movies. So I could definitely, there's some super super good, cheesy, bad but good Christmas horror movies.
Oh, I have a couple.
The Chicken Party, bruh. We watched that movie. We discovered it in 2018, and 2 years in a row we watched it multiple times for Christmas. It's fucking good.
Well, hey man, I want to hang out with you some more. I don't want to take up all your time.
Yeah, but let's get off the air.
Yeah. Any closing remarks?
Nah, man. Looking forward to putting some more energy out into this and creating some content. So much more to come. Love y'all.
I really appreciate you being on my first return episode after my little hiatus.
You already know it, man.
I want to let everybody know I'm back. I'm
back, baby.
I'm back. Oh, baby, I'm back. I'm going to be putting out more content continuously. This podcast is going to be the main thing because it takes me a long time to work on this music and on these cartoons. So I'm going to be really gunning at that. But if you want to see, things coming up or you want to find out where to get this podcast, go to The Attic Productions on Instagram. Follow us there. That's where I mainly post. But we also have a Facebook page. Holla at me there, folks.
Holla, holla.
And that's basically it. We're going to be having a really fun show for you guys. I can't wait to bring them to you. But for now, I love you guys and see y'all soon.
Peace.